Hey everyone. Let's write this scenario together. Let's do it. I want to do it with you. I want to help you. So we're going to do this scenario on the stable motor vehicle accident that we're going to go through this week. So before you listen to this video, I'm going to write the narrative for you, but you got to write it with me, right? So open up a Word document, write this down. Let's write it together, okay? So let's get to work on that. And what I've done is, here's your scenario. It's a very basic scenario. Nothing major is going on with this one, right? It's a low-speed impact, 29-year-old male crashed his car into a parked car. There's minor front-end damage on the right fender. He's going 10 miles an hour. Self-extricated. Initially, he's not complaining of anything. Now he's starting to get some upper back, neck stiffness. And eventually he's going to say he doesn't want to go to the hospital. And that's totally fine. We can't assume that every patient we go to is going to want to go to the hospital, right? So don't go into any call or every call anticipating that. But I digress. So here's what I've done for you. I've got this lovely template that I've written for you to help organize this SOAP format for you, okay? So let's write that together. And what I can do is I can actually copy, let's paste it right here. Let's paste it so we can write this, and I can always delete this. All right, so let's write it together. So an introduction. So let's call ourselves EMS. EMS is dispatched to highway intersection for a single vehicle accident collided with a parked car. All right, that's a good introduction, right, as to why we're dispatched. Now let's talk about who our patient is. Patient is is that in the way? There we go, that's probably better. Patient is a what? 29-year-old male. Okay, so there's age and gender. And now let's talk about his position. Where is he found? He's found walking outside of his vehicle at the accident scene. This is important because sometimes people will go to a business down the road from an accident scene. So that's important. And he's self-extricated. Okay, so his position, he's up and he's walking. And the location in the specific environment is he's on the accident scene walking around his car. Now, a good general impression would be patient does not appear in distress, and ambulates easily. That's a good idea, right? It's a good general impression. It doesn't seem like he's in any pain. He's in no distress and he's walking easily. Again, we haven't even talked to him yet. Now, here's the fun part with this call, and what I want to focus on with this is we're going to describe the mechanism of injury a bit. We're going to assess this mechanism of injury in this intro statement. So EMS notes. So I always start this. EMS notes, minor damage to patient's, to the front right fender. No other external damage noted. EMS notes, no internal damage to patient's vehicle. No wind. Let's say wind shield is intact. No steering wheel deformity. Airbags are present, but did not deploy. Patient, did I spell that wrong? Deploy. Oh my gosh, it's getting late. I'm on a new schedule, so I got the dum-dums a little bit. Airbags present, but they're not deployed. Patient states he was wearing his seat belt. Patient states he was going about 10 miles per hour at time of impact. So there we go. We've assessed the mechanism of injury. We said that it's really not that big of a deal. It's not that bad of an accident. Okay, so that's the first part. I'm going to pause it real quick. All right, so now that we got the scene size up component done, let's write the subjective part. Okay, and there's our what we wrote initially. Subjective: chief complaints, secondary complaints, history of the present complaint, and any pertinent negatives. So let's write that. Patient is complaining of neck and upper back stiffness and soreness following this accident. All right, it's a very good statement. There's really no other secondary complaints. I get that there are two complaints here, but I believe you can have two primary complaints or two chief complaints. I don't get too hung up on that. Patient states, now let's do the history of the chief complaint, right? Patient states this soreness to began a few minutes after this accident. States and initially denies pain immediately following. Something like that, right? So he's got sore neck, sore upper back. He initially said it wasn't sore, but then it developed a few minutes after the accident. Now we got to get to pertinent negatives. These are very, very important. So patient denies, and I start with a top-down approach, right? So I do the head. So headache, that could be a bad thing. Dizziness, that's also the head. Chest discomfort, that encapsulates pain and pressure, right? Difficulty breathing, abdominal pain. It's my subjective, I always ask these, right? You could add a whole bunch more in, but this just pretty much covers it, right? Patient denies head pain. Patient denies midline neck or back pain. There we go. There's our subjective, right? Shoot, that wasn't very... Okay, now let's write the objective aspect of this. And I've copy and pasted that here. So this is what you observe. So I'm going to say patient is, and we're going to do level of consciousness and behavior. Patient is AO times 4. With what kind of behavior? With calm behavior. Right? He's not in any distress. I always do neurologic deficits. You're not going to see this on your medical or trauma sheet, but I always do it on scene. Because what if this guy's drunk and he's slurring his words? He's stumbling, right? It's very important. So no neuro deficits. Now, what you, sometimes I'll say that, but speech is non-slurred and appropriate. Patient walks with steady, balanced gait. No facial droop or extremity deficits. Right? So that tells me that he's all there. Okay? Now, I don't specifically mention the airway, but I'll say breathing is non-labored with clear, equal lung sounds. Okay? So that pretty much tells you that the airway is open because they can't have easy, normal breathing without an open, intact airway. Now, let's do circulation. Strong, regular, radial pulses. That's important. Skin is pink, warm, and dry. No bleeding. And I also do spinal concerns with this. So no head, midline, neck, or back pain reported. So there we go. There's our objective. There's one of our objectives. I'm going to pause it here again. Okay, if you have to put the actual physical assessment in, this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to say physical exam. Go H, ears, eyes, nose, throat. No head, pain, tenderness. Pupils equal and reactive to light. Equal and reactive to light. No, they're saying no drainage. Ears clear. No bleeding. Airway open. Something like that. Neck. Oops. How do I scroll down so you can actually see it? Neck. Non-tender, easy, no pain to range of motion, maybe. Let's do spine, no midline pain, tenderness. chest equal rise fall, clear equal lung sounds, no tenderness, or no crepitus. I think that's how you spell it. Abdomen, soft, non-tender times 4. Pelvis, stable, non-tender, no crepitus, something like that. Extra, let's see, G, genitourinary, oops, normal, non-tender, extremities, CMS times 4 intact, cap refill is less than 2 seconds. All right. So there we go. There's our physical exam, right? We didn't go super duper in depth in anything. We just mentioned what we found, right? Or what we didn't find. Okay, to save time, I just typed in the vitals and the past medical history. These aren't tough to do. Include them. They're important. But I really want to talk about the plan with the few minutes we have remaining. So here we go. So I always start my reports this way. Patient is assessed on scene of noted single vehicle accident with neck and upper back soreness reported. Okay, so this is our on scene right here, right? So vitals and physical exam with no other injuries reported or assessed. Okay, so what do we do? Patient walks to RIG for further assessment. And vitals. EMS monitors. I want full thing. EMS monitors patient for several minutes, and patient remains alert and calm with no changes. EMS. Now this is a bit special. EMS offers transportation to hospital for further assessment. Patient refuses transport, stating he feels fine with no injuries besides feeling sore. And then what I would do is I would end it with like patient is advised to contact 911 if his condition changes or he has further concerns. Patient signs refusal and is left on scene with PD, right? Because law enforcement's going to be there. So there's the narrative, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the rest of this stuff, but I want to keep it in there to kind of show you how I did that. But there's our narrative. It's really not that difficult, right? Let's delete that. Okay, so if we clean that up and we take out all the template that I added, here's what we get. And this could be an entire report for someone if you didn't have the drop-down boxes. And it's a fairly good report. I threw in another set of vitals. You'd mark the time with the vitals if you did that in real life. But that's it. There's your narrative. I just wrote it with you. Now, doesn't mean you're going to copy and paste this thing into FizzDap. Don't be doing that, because then the jig will be up. And this, I'm not hiding this at all. I want to help you with this. So write up something similar to this. But this is how I would do it. I really hope this helps. Let me know either way. I want to make sure that you guys get something that's good for you. And if this is good, if this does help you, I'd be happy to do it on future scenarios. All right, I'm off to bed. See you guys later.